Welcome back, and big breaking news coming in from the United Kingdom, where Home Secretary Suella Braverman has been sacked by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak as he begins his reshuffle. That's the piece of breaking news that's coming in. Suella Braverman has now been sacked. Remember, this comes in the wake of her statement against the London police, where she claimed that the Met Police was being lenient towards pro-Palestinian protesters. That's the piece of breaking news that's coming in. Anyway, Suella Braverman was not a very popular leader when it came to the entire Sunak cabinet, and now she has been sacked in the wake of that controversy surrounding the Met Police. I'm joined by my colleague Sanjay Suri, who's getting us this piece of breaking news. So Sanjay, was it the remarks on the Met Police which finally was the final nail in the coffin for Suella Braverman?
Well, clearly those were the remarks that proved the last straw, and you mentioned she was not very popular. That is classic British understatement. But there were two aspects to this. One is the remarks she made, and she described the people supporting the Palestinian cause and opposing the bombing as pro-Palestinian mobs that the police were being partial to. But further, she did not get full clearance for this article in the Times from 10 Downing Street. The ministerial code clearly says that any minister speaking on public policy must get clearance from 10 Downing Street. She submitted that article to the Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister's office asked for changes. She refused to make those changes and went ahead and published that article. That was a clear break of the code. But even beyond that, the fact is that after she did this, Rishi Sunak's office still said that she has the confidence of the Prime Minister. The reason this step has now been taken is because the entire cabinet has now turned against her. Rishi Sunak really would be up against almost every ministerial colleague, many of whom spoke publicly against Braverman. In the face of this revolt, he hardly could have sustained that position that she has his confidence.
Right, and at the same time, as you are pointing out, she wasn't very popular when it came to Rishi Sunak's cabinet. She was in fact a huge PR liability when it came to Rishi Sunak's entire governance pitch across the United Kingdom. We're also learning from reports, Sanjay, that James Cleverly could be moved from the Foreign Secretary position into the Home Secretary office. Are you learning more along those lines?
That the cabinet reshuffle is underway now. That cabinet reshuffle has been expected for some time. There have been moves made towards that end, and a lot of colleagues have been sounded about new positions, and among those, Cleverly is said to have been sounded about this position, and there has been increased communication of that in recent days. In fact, as recent as yesterday, this is what reports are suggesting. But that reshuffle is taking place currently, and no doubt we'll see very soon who are the new faces in the cabinet.
Right, and at the same time, Suella Braverman, always outspoken, as I was pointing out, she was a huge PR liability for Rishi Sunak's governance agenda. Sanjay, take us through the previous controversies. I remember there was one controversy about sending illegal immigrants to Rwanda as well, which landed her in hot water.
Well, that particular controversy is due to come to a head on Wednesday of this week, and that is when the Supreme Court will deliver a ruling whether that move is valid. That move from the government had been rejected by the High Court. The government went in appeal to the Supreme Court, which is due to deliver a ruling on Wednesday. There are again aspects to this that could be a matter of policy that has been the subject of intense debate, but it is the rather right-wing tone that Braverman adopted that has upset many people, and not just people who profess to be liberal. She has said that this is her dream, that her dream is to see a plane take off with people on it for Rwanda, kicking and screaming and protesting. Now, this is extreme language that she has used, and she has done so again and again. And she has taken very extreme positions also on migrants coming in. Again, the move of the government, and this is a government that the Prime Minister has signed up on, is to refuse them the possibility of any legal appeal. This again is being contested in the courts. This is a rather extreme position to take. The United Nations has said that her views have violated international law. And this is the colleague that Rishi Sunak has indulged for far too long now.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the reports which are coming in now, Sanjay. Conservative sources say Rishi Sunak is carrying out this ministerial reshuffle as he strengthens his team in government to deliver long-term decisions for a brighter future. And sources also say that Suella Braverman was told that Sunak does not want her in the government anymore. She wasn't even offered another post. So he had made up his mind that he wants her out of his government.
Well, there was no way she's going to get another post under the circumstances. It's still Suella Braverman. It is still the same ministerial colleague who provokes a great deal of hostilities from the entire cabinet, from members of the Conservative Party, and really around the country. No way she could have been offered another ministerial post. It is not likely she will in the near future or the distant future by any leader of the Conservative Party. This would be a suicidal move to make, and you're talking about the PR disaster. PR is what it's all about at the best of times. And now the party is heading to elections next year, and we are very close to that. And the government will be particularly sensitive to public viewing at this time. And therefore, Suella Braverman is out. She was a stone around the neck of the government in PR terms, and Rishi Sunak was expected to have dropped her far earlier than this. This is far too late, as many see it. But, well, it has come now, and it is a decisive step.
Right, a very decisive move coming in from Rishi Sunak as he tries to shore up his image ahead of the elections next year. Thank you, Sanjay, for getting us this piece of breaking news.